1979. Pink Floyd just released The Wall. Sony just came out with the first Walkman. And businessmen everywhere are about to have their minds blown. It wasn't because they dropped acid, picked up a Walkman, and started grooving to Pink Floyd. It was actually because of this guy, Michael Porter.
Our guest today is Michael Porter.
This Harvard business professor, he wrote a paper called How Competitive Forces Shape Strategy, where he first coined the term competitive advantage, changing how companies considered competition forever. But
All right, y'all, welcome to Shirley Bangs, LLC. So just want to talk a little bit about competitive advantage. So I talked about creating customer value, creating customer loyalty in my previous videos. So let's talk about, let's get into a little bit the competitive advantage. So businesses need and businesses want that competitive advantage. That means they have something over their competitors that it looks more favorable to the customer. In other words, you have customers coming into your brand, but what do you have that's unique? What can you do that's unique? What can you do more in your company that's more pleasing to your brand than your competitor's brand? So you want that competitive advantage. So let's listen to this. Let's get into it. So how to find it and when.
what exactly is competitive advantage, and how can you make the most of it? Welcome to ALUX. By definition, competitive advantage is a condition or circumstance that puts an individual or company in a favorable or superior position. And look,
So competitive advantage, it puts your company in a favorable or much better position than your competitors. Then companies, your competitors are companies that may be selling the same things you are selling. Companies that are in the same industry that you are in. Say for instance, you have a beauty brand, then they have 4 or 5 different other beauty companies, beauty brands that offer the same things you offer. But what can you do in your company that's unique? What can you do that is different from these other companies that these other companies are doing in the same industry that you are in? You're in the beauty brand. Like me, I'm in the bags business, Shirley Bangs LLC. Gift bags, diaper bags, grab bags, mystery bags, Christmas bags, bags for men, bags for women, bags for children, book bags, all kind of bags. Whatever kind of bag you can think about is a bag that I may offer in my brand. But what can I do to make my company stand out and be more favorable to the customer, to potential customers? So potential customers are customers that I may target, to eventually become, my, I guess I would call a loyal customer. So what can I do in my brand that's unique, that's different from other brands in the same industry that I'm in? I'm in the bag industry, Shirley Bangs LLC. So what can I do in my brand that makes me attract a loyal customer? I have to offer value. I have to offer quality products and services, customer service. You have to offer great customer service. As the gentleman said in my previous video, he said it's also about good customer service. Because if you don't give the customer a great experience, they're not gonna want to come back. Because I know me, when I shop at a brand, if I don't get a great experience, I'm not gonna want to go back. So let's get more into this competitive.
this has been happening for thousands of years. In the beginning, our thumbs were a competitive advantage, but now it's a lot more complicated than
You're
that.
looking for is an enduring competitive advantage.
When it comes to companies, a competitive edge can come through a first mover advantage. Of course, being the first to
You have
bring
that competitive
anything to
edge.
market will give you a leg up on those who come after. Things can also go favorably your way through a low cost advantage, where you can deliver your product or
Low
service
cost.
at a lower cost than your
Right.
competitor and
Cost.
secure more sales as a result.
Yeah.
Or it can be through something like proprietary technology, whereby a company develops a brand new product, patents it, and corners the market, which is exactly what Sony did with that Walkman back in 1979. Now, truthfully, the Walkman wasn't much a breakthrough in tech as in imagination. Most of the components were already in production or testing as part of other devices. All the design team had to do was get creative with their tech, stacking existing components, and voila, the first portable music player.
So she's saying that there are plenty of ways to get that competitive edge, that competitive advantage. Offering the product, getting the product patent. In other words, you have an invention, you get a patent for an invention, you get a patent, you have a product that's so unique, there's nothing like it on the market, you got that competitive edge, you got that competitive advantage over your competitors. The technology in your brand is so superior and so, so magnificent, I guess I would say. And none of your competitors have any technology in their brand that you have, in your brand. So you have that competitive edge. You have technology that is unmatched. You have a superb customer service. You have so much going on in your brand. You have that competitive edge. You have that competitive advantage. Customers want to come to you. They don't want to go to your competitors, even though your competitors they offer the same products and services that you offer, but it's something about your brand that's so unique, that's so, great to them. It's great to them. They had a good experience. They had a magnificent experience when they shopped at your brand. Customer service was good. Products and services was great. The location, cost. You offer you offer the same products that your competitors offered, but you had a lower cost, lower price, convenient location, just everything about your brand. It was just so pleasing to the customer. It gave you that competitive edge.
Was formed. Sony did the thing Michael Porter wrote about. It cornered its market through a key competitive advantage. But the execs might have put too much stock in what Porter had to say, because, as we all know, the Walkman lost to the iPod in the end.
Are you guys here for the halftime show?
Go.
So you can think about Apple. Apple has that competitive edge over a lot of other cell phone brands. So we think about, because T-Mobile, they offer cell phones. Say T-Mobile, we have Verizon over here in the United States of America. We have what other cell phone brands do we have? I know we have Xfinity, we have Apple, T-Mobile, we have Boost Mobile, because I've been with all of them, not at the same time, but I used each one of those previously, But then I find that some of those are better than, some of those brands were better than others. They were better than others. So now Apple, when you think about their phones and their services, they have, better picture quality, better video quality, better picture quality. It's just something about the Apple iPhone that is superior to all the other brands of cell phones. So Apple definitely has that competitive edge. So that's why they are able to boost their prices up, So let's finish.
And they created the technology to take us there. But what happens after that? The whole thought of sustainable competitive advantage is really nothing more than a nice idea. An idea that Rita Gunther McGrath tore to shreds. She's a professor at Columbia School of Business in New York and one of the world's leading experts on strategy. McGrath hit us with this. Competitive advantage is transient, not sustainable. Netflix got to ride that wave alone for years. But the tide started to turn for Netflix through the 2010s as others began to notice their successful model and copy it for themselves, each of them managing to pull off its own bitch and bottom turn and charge into it. So in this situation, how can Netflix hold on to its advantage? I mean, Amazon Prime already beat them in library size as of January 2019. Netflix is putting up a damn good fight right now. They're still listed as the top streaming service with 200 million subscribers and has been voted to have the best original content of them all. I mean, have you seen The Circle? Talk about bringing some weird new shit to the market. Folks are eating it up. But how does any of this relate to you? It doesn't really, but you know, it also kind of does. Obviously, there are some pretty big differences between companies like Netflix and Sony and people like you and I. The thing is, though, there is some overlap. People can definitely approach their competitive advantage in the same way Sony did, by stacking their existing tech, in your case, skills, and bringing something truly unique to the market. Or with a
That's what I
Netflix
said.
approach,
Something
through being the
truly
first
unique
to
to
take
the
things
market.
in a new direction. But you know, whichever method you choose to define your competitive advantage, you gotta watch out for a common trap though. Working hard isn't a competitive advantage, especially when the odds are stacked against you. The key to really honing in on your personal competitive advantage, and stick with us here, finding your favorite shit sandwich. This colorful concept was put forward by American author Mark Manson, but with a book titled The Subtle Art of Not Giving a I guess none of us should be that surprised. So this whole idea hinges on the fact that everything sucks some of the time. Even if you land your dream career, some parts are bound to be awful. The thought that you do what you love and nothing feels like work is just a load of crap, really.
So she was just saying previously that, in other words, if companies get that or have that competitive advantage, can they sustain it? Can they keep it up? This, I mean, they may keep it up for a while, but then they may not. And then you think about actresses and singers and stuff. In my opinion, they have a competitive advantage at some point. But you know how it is when you say, oh, they be popular for a while, and then this thing starts to die down. People don't, buy their music as much, or we're not streaming their music as much, not listening to their music as much. They may, the popularity may go down. Is what I'm saying. So it happens in every area of, every field. So whatever field you are in, just know that, right? Popularity might go down, and what she was saying is, can they sustain that competitive advantage? So you're a singer, you're an artist, you're a singer, you're a dancer, or whatever you do, eventually people are not going to be caring about you for a long time. Sometimes you're popular, you're very popular, and people may say, oh wow, she's hot right now, the person is hot right now, but then later on, next 2 years, you might not be hot. It'd be another singer, another dancer, another musician that's more popular, So the same thing with movies. When a movie come out, sometimes a good movie may come out, and we may like, everybody trying to run to the theater to see it, but next two or 3 years, that movie is not going to be popular. So that means they are not sustaining that competitive advantage. So it's in every industry. So let's get back to it.
Everything comes with some kind of struggle or sacrifice, and the ones that you can endure, that's where you discover your personal shit sandwich, or advantage. So what aspects of your industry are you able to tolerate better than the rest? Are you an artist whose drive is totally unaffected by rejection? Because that's a major advantage for a creative person. Are you able to stay up all night long writing code? Because eating that sleepless shit sandwich will give you an edge over other developers. If you want to be a star surgeon, being able to endure the 90-hour work week is a special kind of shit sandwich you'll have to eat in order to make it. And all of this can be more eloquently summed up by one of this generation's leading entrepreneurial voices, Naval Ravikant. When competing against the incumbent, better to focus on what they won't do rather than what they can't do. Doing the things that others won't do is easily the strongest place to start cultivating your personal competitive advantage. But there is one more piece to this disjointed puzzle. You are the only you, and that's an advantage too. There's no other person on this planet who thinks and acts just like you do. Look at it this way.
Yep, so that is true. You are the only person, you are the only you. There's nobody in this world that acts like you or me. So a gentleman was saying the other day, everybody has a different fingerprint. So There's nobody like you. No, we all have different fingerprints. Nobody in this world may think like you, think like me, act like you, or act like me. You know, so we are definitely. So that's what she's saying. As people, as humans, we are unique within ourselves. We are all unique. So we are all unique in our own way.
Advantage of Kanye.
Wake up, Mr. West!
There are others out there making music and working on collabs with companies, but Ye's advantage, on top of his musical talent of course, literally comes from him being himself. There's quite literally no one like him, or anyone capable of creating the way he does. So what is it about you that makes you stand out? What is the most useful way for you to be yourself? That's, well, it's a pretty big question, but it doesn't have to be a hard one though. The more skills you learn and stack, the more knowledge you expose yourself to, it'll all lead you to a place of deeply understanding yourself, who you are, what you're passionate about, what your hidden talents are, what kind of shit sandwiches you like the most. We don't find our passions through thinking, we find our passions through doing. So go do some stuff, trial by fire, baby. The more compatible skills you stack around yourself, the more you'll be able to flesh out the idea of you. And this is pretty important if you want to be your own personal version of Ye. Through this process, you become more and more unique than ever before, which means you get to ride that wave a lot longer than those around you because, well, no one can compete with you at being you. Now, before you go, we wanted to fill you in about something actually pretty relevant to what we talked about today. We're launching our latest online course tomorrow called Learning Mastery, where we'll teach you how to learn skills on your own, allowing you to stack advantages and be even more unique than you already are. See you on the inside, Alexer.
Yeah, so, right, so in other words, and also she's saying that you are unique. We are all individuals. We are all individuals, and we are all unique in our own way. So we have a competitive advantage. When you if you look at yourself, you have a competitive advantage over someone else when it comes to this or when it comes to that, because we are all unique. We are all our own person, and we are unique. We are different. We all have different fingerprints. We all have different thoughts. We're just different, you know. We're different, culturally different. Ethnicity, when it comes to our ethnicity, we're different. So that is competitive advantage. That competitive advantage. You have that competitive edge over your competitors as a company, as a brand. So take a look at your personal brand, take a look at your business brand. Take a look at your company brand and your personal brand. So in order to maintain that competitive advantage, so in other words, she was saying that you probably could maintain it for a certain period of time, but eventually you won't, are you gonna be able to sustain that competitive advantage? That's what she was saying. So are you gonna be able to sustain it? But my thing is, if you can keep it for a while, as long as you can build your brand, build a strong, dependable, reliable, trustworthy brand, a brand that offers loyalty, a brand that offers value, a brand that offers something unique, a brand that offers lower prices, a brand that offers everything that a customer needs and wants. So you don't want to sell a product or offer a service that is not going to perform, is not going to do what you say that your products and services are going to do. So when customers spend their money, they want to know that, hey, you are offering them a product or a service that has value. Has value. They wanted to do what you say that your products and services are going to do. So whenever you go to a salon, get your hair done, or you go get your nails done, and you're spending your money, you go in there, you're expecting great customer service. You're expecting the services to be quality. You don't want to get your nails done and then you look at your nails and they all jacked up after you spent your money, that's not quality, that's not great, customer service. That's not, giving you value for your money. So that's not giving you value for your money, so, you know, that's all I have for today. So competitive advantage, so you can do a little more research on that competitive advantage, and I'll see you all on the next video. So Shirley Beggs, glad to see you, glad you could be here, glad you could join me, and I hope to see you. So I hope to see you on the next video, so you all have a good one.